Hey, I'm Christian Stanley, and I'm the owner at C. Stanley Creative. And this is a short video about my project with the ABV Gallery in Atlanta and the parking garage mural that we did at Alexan WP2 in Winter Park, Orlando, Florida. Put on the short list for the project, which is doing an interior apartment complex courtyard at Alexan WP2 in Winter Park. We were selected by ABV Gallery out of Atlanta, and they were partnered with Greg Mike and TCR Development Company, who's building the project, to come in and kind of bring some harmony and tranquility to their big concrete wall that they had. Using that prompt, we went ahead and developed a few different concepts ranging from like a nautical scene to water lilies to cranes to some daffodils, and we ended up landing on a flower called Coreopsis, and the common name is Tickseed, which is the Florida State wildflower. And using that, we set up a big background and threw in some bees to add some energy and life and some personality to it, to create a big harmonious, relaxing courtyard for Alexan WP2. We've been out there for, I think, 17 days, probably about 10 to 12-hour days each, and most of it is up in a lift. The project is 4 stories tall and 175 feet long. There's probably about 80 windows, all which had to be taped and sealed across the bottom to protect from any drips or overspray. We probably used probably like 60 gallons of paint to paint the whole thing. So there's probably about 70 to 80 windows on the 4 stories of parking garages. And yeah, they all had to be taped out, but what the challenge was, you can't just put an image over the windows. I mean, you can, but it'll be obscured. So we kind of had to balance everything and all of the important points of interest in the mural, avoid any of the windows, and they're set up between the stories or in little gaps of the window to help keep the flow of the mural going. So the point of entry for the courtyard is off to the right-hand side. That's where the viewer first observes the mural, and you step out, and we kept the leaves and the details smaller on that side so they're more absorbable to the viewer when they walk out. And then as they step out into the courtyard, they catch up the wind from the bees and see the big flowers and the bigger, more open air elements on the other side of the mural, because you can't see the whole mural at once without turning your head. We had to figure out ways to kind of link up the different elements and different parts of the mural. Just due to the vastness of the mural, it's 7,400 square feet of coverage. So if you were gonna paint something super detailed, you'd be out there for months. And we had 2 weeks to get the project done. So rather than go with a super detail-oriented approach, we went with large flat blocks of color. My background as a graphic designer definitely played in to using large, smooth lines, nice smooth transitions, and picking a really harmonious color palette that wasn't jarring to the eye, but also complemented some of the other exterior elements that are in the courtyard. So when everything's done, the yellow flowers go with the yellow paint of the building. They match the pavers in the courtyard, the railings, the balconies, the slate rock, all that stuff all matches in with the color palette that we picked, because we knew the colors are really where this thing comes alive. And if the colors were all complementary and really bold and solid looking, the piece would really sell itself. And this is something that people are gonna live around and in and be a part of their everyday life, whether they like it or not. So I wanted to keep it to be something that was really passive and tranquil and could fade into the background, but also interesting enough that if you enjoyed it, walking into your apartment would be nice to see something that would complement, either your design tastes, or if you're designing or whatever, hanging out in the courtyard on your laptop, that it would just make a really inviting, open atmosphere. We knew going in that the lift was going to be a big challenge, which it did end up being, but we kind of anticipated. The only point of entry for the courtyard is a 7-foot tall doorway. So getting a lift in and out of there, I wasn't able to use the lift that I wanted to use, which is a long articulating boom arm lift. So we had to go with a scissor lift that was a little more compact that would fit in and out of the doorway, which means a lot more up and down. You're only able to work vertically. You can't move side to side as much as you'd like, and on a long horizontal wall, that's definitely proved to be a challenge. And the 2 weeks we were out there, the lift broke down about 4 times. So luckily we had 2, and we were able to reroute and just keep going. And luckily we didn't have any rain delays other than the last day, of course. But we'll take it. And we had to seal and prep the wall. That took 3 or 4 days. Make sure we had a good bond on the paint going onto that concrete wall. Painting the windows was definitely the hidden challenge, but it was also kind of a blessing. We used them as a lot of reference points. A lot of the elements kind of weave in and out of the windows, and you could say, hey, I need to go down to this column here with this set of windows, and you could use them because they're such a unique pattern. You could use them as kind of a map almost, if you will, to use as reference points when you're painting. So given the choice, I wouldn't do windows. I'd avoid them completely.